Come on. Lila, leave the bunny. I'm going. I'm coming.
What else shows up in November to April? All the bass are spawning, the ducks are flying, the manatees are swimming. Like this is our make or break time of the year, right? For everything. The fish have to spawn. Everything's got to happen in those 4 or 5 months. But yet we're out there in the middle of the month.
All right.
North Shore. You've been here many times in February when we had the back tournament. And the day before the tournament, here comes the airboats right there at Dice's ditch with the big thing.
Let's put that down. What's going on, guys? It's Mickey over here at Forbitten Baits, and today we are going to be doing knocking stuff over here. Today I'm gonna be coming back off of a little break I took, a little burnt out on painting baits and pouring and tying. So over the break I decided to start a YouTube channel, and I'm back now, and today we're gonna be doing Hobbs Golden Shiner. Pattern of mine. I have a couple patterns going, but this is gonna be the first one that we put on camera, and I'm gonna be doing it on 2 Sammy 100 replicas. These are already primed. They come this way. Got these over from Shane at Sugar Tit Custom Lures. If you guys are into buying blanks, one of my go-to spots there. Let me turn this on, get these lights going. But yeah, painted these blanks a ton of times already. I just realizing before, I hadn't done these in the Sammy yet, or rather I hadn't done Hobbs Golden Shiner in the Sammy yet, and this is pretty much an updated version. So what we got going on here, Golden Shiner pattern, of course. I have a little funky color shift going and a little funky stenciling going, and then I've also added red flake to the deal. For the top waters, I am not going with the orange band all the way across. I am leaving a little bit of that bone exposed, and I don't know if you guys are catching that here. You can sort of see it off the glare there, the color shift. What color shift am I using here? Is this Testers? No, this is Vallejo. So I'm using Vallejo Space Dust. I'll leave a link to this stuff down in the description. So I've been thinking of starting an affiliate program, which I may get going soon, just to give you a little bit easier access to all this quirky stuff that I'm buying in oddball places. I didn't get this from an oddball place. I actually got this at Hobby Lobby. Yeah, I'm gonna say Hobby Lobby. So we're just gonna do a similar type paint job. Nothing too crazy, and I've decided to do, I was gonna do 2, One for me, one for my son, but I'm looking at my stock. It's starting to look a little thin. It got a little decimated over my break. So I'm gonna add 5, and I'll throw those up on my site. I'll leave the link to my site up as well. But for now, let's get these done so you can see the pattern and what I do. I haven't decided yet if I'm gonna add the bucktail to these. Want to get out and fish with them, see how the action is yet. I haven't tried it on a Sammy. I don't want to toss anything I haven't tried yet, but I may or may not add a little bit of the bucktail to the rear hook. All right, so Hobbs Golden Shiner. Hobbs Golden Shiner, named after a buddy of mine, Tom. Come on, Lila. Come on, Lila. Put me on to the fact that we have some Golden Shiner in our local lake. And since then, I've been obsessed with the damn bait fish. So, fittingly, my first Golden Shiner pattern dedicated to old boy Tom. And Tom, actually, I may send you one of these. I'm gonna be doing more anyway, so one of these is gonna be for you, Tom. So, usually, I would start out with an opaque white primer, Createx. I usually run with Createx, but because this blank already comes in white, primered for you, whenever I get a bait like that, I don't like to mess with the tone. I think it's sexy to leave that bone exposed already. Just the natural white, unless you're doing some really drastic with the bait and you're gonna have to hit it with primer anyway, like a full body bait. But I like to ghost to bone, as you would call it, or yeah, that's the best way I can explain it. You know, you just do a ghost pattern straight down to the bone. So I'm gonna end up starting out actually with sepia, because I'm gonna want that gold to pop when I get there. I'm gonna go sepia instead of black. I do have another shiner pattern that does highlight black and a different tone of gold, but for my natural, my go-to Hobbs's, yeah, I rock out with sepia. Okay, and before I get spraying here, I just want to let you know I'm shooting with my Iwata Eclipse HPCS, the way I always have. I do have a Neo as well, and I am running dual tanks over here. Master dual pistons, I believe. Yep. And yeah, let's get cracking. Start with that FW Inks Dollaroni Sepia. Okay. How the first coat looks, we're just getting it down, drying it. Gonna give it a second run, of course. What you want is that darker bruise look underneath the gold to come out, which is why you go the first time with the sepia and then hit it with the gold. Just a little something I picked up there. But you can see it just highlights the gold a little more. It gives it more character, especially when you're ghosting it down to the bone. Yeah, it's a nice little touch. And I try to spray at an angle. Spraying at an angle brings out a little bit more of the bone as well. It's okay if you have a little bit of overspray. I am shooting a little bit too high now that I think about it. There we go. Mid-20s could do it, especially for a thin color like sepia. Yeah, I was shooting a little bit too high. But yeah, about 3 coats to get you there. And you see how I'm shooting at an angle? That'll definitely pop when you are applying the gold. Just make sure you're all even here on both sides. Even to where you come down, because remember, once you lay that gold on top, that will come out. We got one a little darker than the other. I just want to match one here. Bam. There we go. All right, so the next color we're going to be shooting is going to be Createx Wicked Pearl Gold. Probably another one of my favorite colors. Shoot a lot of Golden Shiner patterns. All right, so pretty much the same way. Shot in an angle. I'm gonna do the same thing here, from the shoulders down. Doesn't matter from the front or the back. Either way, we're still giving a base here. We haven't gone into detail yet. So broad strokes, the only thing that matters is that you get a nice little fade going down to the belly to leave the bone exposed, which the sepia, just like that, the sepia already makes that look pretty nice in my opinion. All right, we're good to shoot here. And you're gonna need a couple coats on this until you really start noticing the gold layover. But once it does start to pop, it does look nice. And call me crazy, but we will be hitting it again with sepia over. It's all part of the plan. No worries here. Just a bit. Dog's going crazy. She sees the rabbits outside and she is after them. Then she catches them outside and just licks them down. And you can see that gold really starting to come out, but the top, from the top of the bait going down, it goes from more of a bruised chocolate gold straight to that bone on the belly. You know, the way it goes, it just gives it that nice effect. Something I've been doing for a little while now, but again, you know, just experimenting. It's all about experimenting with the blanks that you get. Even if they're bad blanks, you have them, paint them. Reason being, because, you know, it's just good little practice. Always good to get practice in. All right, the next color that we're gonna use here is gonna be Createx regular old fluorescent orange. And yes, you may be noticing a little bit something funny about my painting style. I like to swirl my colors on. Just feel that I get a little bit better coverage. I know it's something that's really oddball. A couple people have said something about it to me. At this point, it's just the way that I rock. Doesn't mean that I'm locked into it. Sometimes you may see me doing the regular old brush strokes, but I'd say about 70% of the time my technique is just swirling the colors on. Okay, that tail looks nice and even. You want it darker at the tip of the tail, and you want it fading down into the belly. So then what I do is, right before it gets its final coat, I'll come in and I'll spray at an angle where most of the paint is hitting the tip of the tail, but the overspray is going toward the belly. So you get your spray established, and then you just start with a nice little swirl side to side. See, nothing crazy. it'll just give it that, from certain angles, you'll notice the orange really stretch out. So, you know, just some little something I picked up. Looks about right there. And then heat set that real quick. And pretty much the same effect that we just did here, we're gonna do to the mouth. Come in. Make sure you got a good spray first. And then by that third coat around the mouth, that's where you want to really come in at an angle. If you can, try to get the lightest hints of that overspray about 1/2 inch away from the main spray. You'll see it trailing off, and you know, it's a nice little effect that you give your baits, especially once you clear coat the bait, or if you add some transparent or pearlescence over that overspray, it really makes your bait pop. Okay, so for this next part, what I'm gonna do is, and there's a reason for it, it may be redundant, like why did you start with sepia, then cover it with gold, and now you're going back to the sepia? Why didn't you just do the sepia all around and then not add gold where you didn't want it? There's a particular reason for that. Like I said, it highlighted the gold, and now this is gonna be the underlay for the stenciling, which I didn't really want to pollute it with any of the gold and the overspray of the gold. So let's just go ahead and get started here. Again, I will be shooting at angles. That's what I do. Just adds a little depth to the bait, and just go light on that first, wherever you're making contact with the bait for the first time. I like to give that coat a little lighter spray, just so you don't fill it real quick with overspray. Just let it heat set and grab first. Okay. And don't worry if you had a little bit of overspray. Stenciling should take care of that. What you do want to do is be skinny on the spine area. Remember, you are working with the gold underneath, and what you want is a nice gradual fade. So therefore, you know, just come along the spine nice and narrow, and let the overspray take care of the rest. It'll hug those shoulders nice. Then that last spray, if you want, you know, you just do it from a little bit of a distance, just so you can notice a nice little dusting over the wider parts of the shoulder. Make sure both of your sides are even. That's a pet peeve of mine. You know, nothing ruins a nice bait like looking at it at the end and it's not lined up 100%, especially if you're like me, where you tend to spray like this with your helping hands at an off angle. It can happen, but just go back and double check. So we are done with the basing, and minus a couple of spraying techniques, you know, just a couple key differences. This is actually another pattern that I have called Throwback Shiner, and you know, you'll probably see me paint that one on the channel later on. A little bit of a simpler pattern, and I like to do that ghosted out, but just a solid pattern overall. And this pattern, Hobbs Golden Shiner, so it used to be that the rest would just be simply capped off, if I could find it here, with, no, that's not it. I started with that and then elevated up to Candy 2.0 Emerald, emerald green. Stuff is strong actually for being a transparent, but it is a candy. You know, I'd cap the shiner off, not even with stenciling. Like you see this crazy little looking stenciling there. Yeah, I used to just straight up just blast it over the top, you know, give it a nice fade and call it a day. So you can see things have changed here, and where we're at today is, again, we're using Vallejo shifters, space dust. This comes in a couple, it's a series. It comes in a couple different boxes, a couple different versions. I've been able to get my hands on another one. I forgot the name of it, to be honest with you. And then this one I found. It's good stuff. Space dust. And, you know, I've been playing around with a couple key colors. And for my shiner patterns, the bright gold and brown, it actually shifts. It turns, you can call it a brown. It's a natural. But to me, it's more of a reddish orangish. Like, let's see if you could pick it up here. Yeah, you can call it a brown, but, you know, in person, again, you know, it tends to look more like a burnt orange. Really jumps sort of kind of like a merthiolate, to be honest with you. There, if you're catching it right there on the gill plate. I don't know if I'm giving you a good shot with the camera or not. Hopefully I am. But yeah, goes right back to that nice emerald green. I don't know how they call that bright gold, but it's definitely a green. That emerald green to that burnt orange. So yep, let's get that shot, load that up. We do have a friend here. I've been trying to find him for days. I can't, I'm sorry, and he is going off. Our friend the grasshopper over here, cricket, one of the two. These, what I'm about to show you is great. If you could find these hoops, and I got these at Michael's, a 3-set. The 3-set is actually good. They sell them individual. What's the particular name on them? Bamboo hoop set. So this is for, I guess, crocheting or something. I don't know, some arts and craftsy kind of stuff. I just walk through. I'm the funniest guy in the world. I'll walk through nail salons and I'll walk through dollar stores, Hobby Lobby, just finding stuff that I could use. And as soon as I saw this, I realized I could use it to stretch my stencils out and put my stencils on just a slightly different way, especially for gill plating and over the back, spine stenciling, and just quickly rapid production, one to another, to another, to another. If you're doing a run of 15-20 baits, and you know, it doesn't require necessarily you posting up each bait on alligator clips, then you know, this is a little bit better set up for mass production. Boy, this guy is annoying. He was in my bedroom the other day and I was searching for him, like 3 in the morning. Couldn't find him, and he lives still. Have the bait, the back of the bait facing you, the nose of the bait facing up. That's just how I do. And let's give it one nice even coat. And you see what I mean? This stuff really has, if it has gold in it, it's super hard to notice because it's straight emerald green. It's a very pearlized, wanting to jump to a gold kind of emerald green, but by no means is it really gold. But the stuff is good. It works, especially for my shiner patterns. I love it. And you see this funky stencil. I should have shown you before I did it on the bait, but just to show you, it's not gonna pick up. Duh, it's a color shift. 7-8 times out of 10, you're really not gonna get a perfect second coverage on it, exactly where you had it the first time. So be cognizant of that, and the first time you're putting it on and you're spraying, spray nice and even on both sides, so you don't really have to go back and tinker. Remember, we're looking for congruency here. That's very key. You want it fading to the sides the way I have it here. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Nothing else to it. If you see a little blank spot by the tail, that's nothing. You just go back, put your finger over where you already have stenciling, and just hit that tail off. First, make sure you have a good spray. Yep, just hit that tail off. Bang, you see that? Nothing else to it. And then just go and repeat the same thing on the gill plates. Maybe turn that over a little bit. Try to find the every bait has its angle. If you're gonna go a little askew, find that angle and spray. It's gonna be hard to spray at an angle here, but just try to cover the gill plate to the nose, right to the nose. Find the curve of the gill plate and blast it. Make sure you get underneath as well. Take that off, and you see that changes everything. We are gonna come back and hit the eyes a little bit, darken those up at the end. But other than that, just come back on the other side and do the very same thing. Just line it up, make sure you're hitting that angle. Make sure everything is nice and even. And boy, our buddy is singing to us. And right here, I'm not actually spraying. Instead of heat setting, I'm just blowing air at it. Come up off of there and look at that. Just changes the entire complexion of the bait and what you had, especially when you combine it with the fact that it's a color shift. It just takes it next level. So cool. What I'm gonna do is, as I've been doing, just catch this one up, and I'll see you guys in another sec. Whoopsie, I almost forgot, guys. There is one more effect that I like to add to the bait, and I'll see if it comes up on camera on this one. Before you empty out whatever color shift you have, this stuff ain't cheap. And it adds a nice effect if you just go ahead on the bone part. So, I'm explaining this wrong. The color shifts come up way better on darker colors that you base. So if you use a black, or if you use a sepia, or if you use like I don't know, darker red, just anything that's dark in base, and shoot the color shift on, it'll come up better. For example, you can see it probably slightly a little bit better on the orange than on the bone over here. But in either case, it still does come up. See how it comes up way better over the sepia, and you can barely notice it at all over the bone there. I still like to give it a dusting, especially if you got a little bit left over. It just adds a nice effect to the bait overall, adds a little bit of depth to it, adds a little bit of realism to it. Just going the extra mile, especially if you're a bait maker and you have clients and you just have pride in your work at all. You know, just these little extras do go a long way, especially if it's a pattern that you have and you're building. Always look for that little extra little oomph, the extra little something. Just takes your pattern to the next level. So what we're just gonna do here is nothing crazy at all. You're just giving it a nice general blast. So make sure you get on the orange. You know, it's really not gonna show up hardly at all on the bone. It will, especially once the clear coat is on. Clear coat does wonders for colors. It just makes everything pop. But it's something that you notice secondhand, after the fact. So, yep. Alright, so we're back. It's time to add the final details in terms of the shading around the eyes. I have tweaked this pattern in the slightest bit by adding red flake along the spine, especially to the top waters. It just catches your eye if you happen to be fishing and catches the glare of the sunlight. I want to play around and see if I could bring out a little bit more of that red flake by using red eyes. So I've gone ahead and, you know, place one on. I think it looks decent. I haven't really decided if I want to shade the eye itself yet. Let's do the shading on the background, on the rim of the eye. So I like how these red eyes look. You know, and that's something that you definitely have to do. Always tweak your patterns around. See how you can improve them. If you try something and it doesn't look good, then you could always revert and go back. And all we are doing is starting from the center of the eye and just barely. There we go. We're just darkening up that rim. Nothing too crazy. If you've gone 2 millimeters outward from that rim, you've gone too far. Really, swirling would help you out here, because what you want to do is just have it be dark in the center and fade out as much as possible and come to a nice crisp clean stop. I'm gonna set these eyes in, but before I do, I'm gonna add some super glue in. But just add a little small dot. Even though the clear coat is pretty much gonna seal it in, doesn't hurt to just add a little security. Goes without saying, try to get your eyes lined up. These are nice little eyes, by the way. So notice you got little holographics in that bubble right in the middle. Let's flip them over and do the same deal. The good thing is about the super glue is the super glue does make it the underneath runny. You can use that to your advantage. So if you don't get the eye particularly boom right dead on, you can slide it. Just be careful sliding it, because once you get that super glue on any of your paint job, trust me, even if you clear coat it, you're gonna notice that. But anyway, I digress. Bang, we got our eyes in. Yeah, I think these look pretty cool. So I'm just gonna sign these baits right now, and we'll be back. All right, so I've grabbed the brush here, and I'm gonna go ahead and start with the epoxy. I'm just gonna show you the entire epoxy process, just because I'm playing around with a little bit of flake, and I want to show you so you don't go ahead and make a common mistake that a lot of people do and then realize afterwards. I added the resin first, the clear, and then I always like to go ahead second with the hardener and just add a little bit more than what I did the clear, even if I have to end up throwing that last little bit's worth out, especially when you're dealing with the tubes. That's okay, no worries. I just find that that actually helps the bait cure faster, and it's gonna make it less tacky overall. So okay, I always like to get in these creases first no matter what. So it looks like we got this one all nice and done here. All right. So I'm intentionally leaving the spine for last, as to not contaminate the clear coat yet with the flake. I'm running everywhere that requires no flake first, because then you're gonna have a mess on your hands trying to dip in clean clear coat that doesn't have flake on it. Grab whatever glitter you want to use. This one in particular is micro glitter. What is the color? I'll tell you where I got it from Michael's. The color is cherry. To me, it's just red. I'm looking more for just the diameter. This is one that I grabbed early on when I started messing with baits. It's worked for me. The Do It series is good as well. But if you are just need something in person, you're in a pinch, and hey, something that works is this right here. So just add a little bit of this. You don't want to go too crazy. Always leave a section of your clear coat blank, like these outer edges here, just in case you want to go back, or you need to go back and you don't want to redo the mixing part. Then just grab another brush real quick and use from the outer edges. But what we are going to do here is just do a little remixing. Warm that up, get it nice and loose again. Heat is your friend in this case. And then just make sure you have nice and enough on that tip. Get the majority on at the head and brush it back. Then again at the midpoint and brush back. You don't ever want to have it really clumped up. So once you have it on liberally, since some time has passed already, Just put that underneath the heat, let it become runny again, and now you can work those flakes a little bit easier. Just make sure you have the entire stenciling area coated nice and sparsely. And once this, it's already popping, it's already made the bait pop, but once it coats, once it cures rather, it's something that really shows up nice. Then, man, at the end what you get is something that just looks money. All right, so we're back. We're pretty much done as far as we could take it tonight. Got a couple minutes before I really have to put these on the turner, but I just want to give you a recap of pretty much what we got going here. This is Hobbs's Golden Shiner 3.0 by now. And again, we did this on a Sammy 100 replica, already primed, boned out. Not bone, we call it bone, you know what bone is, but it already comes primed in white. And we ghosted it back down to that bone with an underlay of sepia underneath that gold. We had that nice vein stenciling, and then we added the red flake, not to forget the orange, fluorescent orange highlights. Just got a highlight added on the actual GoPro. As a feature, the orange strike points and the orange mouth, and then we also did the red eyes. The color shift, let's show you that color shift behind the clear coat. So there we go, we got it turning as I roll the bait. It's hard to really get a good image, but you can see it jumping a little bit there from green. And there is that color shift again. I'm just trying to give you guys a good shot, but I'm really having trouble with this GoPro right now, overheating on me. I gotta get these on the turner, so we'll get that done. And guess what, we're actually gonna go fishing with one of these bad boys. The other one's for my boy. I'll probably end up taking a little darker one. I like that one. And yeah, I gotta bang out the rest of those. I'll catch you guys up once we're all ready to fish, and I'll see you guys out on the water after the shots of the baits. See you guys later. Here's a little sneak preview at a new and upcoming pattern, Murder Mouse. But enough on that. It's time to go fishing. Lila, you're in charge while I'm gone. Got it? No crazy parties. I'll be back soon. Might have a top water bite going today. Smells bassy to me. Looks bassy and smells bassy to me. All right, I'll see you guys out there. All right, So while I'm launching the boat, I just want to take this moment, since this is my one and only crack at my first video on my channel. I just want to take this moment to acknowledge my last and first YouTube channel, Evolution Angler Bassin. You know, nothing crazy. It wasn't even bait making. Really, what it was just a mix mash of gear reviews, a little bit of live fishing, tournament videos. I knew I wanted to be in the fishing industry. I knew I wanted to be on social media. I didn't really know what was my space yet. I quickly realized what my space was, which was the bait making community. So that came to a close. You know, I just stopped making videos, took a deep dive into my equipment for making baits, and learned how to do it, and here we are. You know, the channel's still up. I see that people watch videos every once in a while, and I just wanted to say that because the fact that I didn't really know what I was doing is okay, because that led me to this. And you know, sometimes in life you just gotta take a chance, take a little leap, and figure things out along the way. So to Evolution Angler Bassin, that's for you. Alright, so I brought the Hobbs Golden Shiner Sammy out to play. I did leave the hooks bare. Reason being because it's a loud bait. I like to add trebled feathers, or feathered trebles, to more silent baits, more baits that play on visuals. This is more of a noise getter, a noise maker, and that's how it catches. Well, there goes the first cast being bad luck. No catches there. And then we've been playing around with a worm. Nothing crazy here. This Do It Mold series 5-inch Yamamoto. I just try to hit like a natural nightcrawler tone. You see the bruised tones, you see the chocolate tones. Been going by a couple names, especially by my local. Some call it Plum Party. I like the natural nightcrawler name, but I don't know. Tell me how you feel in the comments, and we may rock with that. But I brought this as a backup bait, and as a bait to toss in just in case they miss the Sammy. But we're here to fish the Sammy, so looks like we landed right on top of them. You gotta love top water walking baits. They're such a good search bait. Little pumpkin seed. There's one. came off. At the boat, not the species we're looking for. There we go. Sometimes you get them to come off. But a nice pickerel. So much for being stealthy. Can juice, I guess, just a little bit closer. A little salad on you. Get up in here. Nice little sporty fish. All right. Yeah, I need those pliers. You got me. You got me. There we go. Not much damage. Thank you. She got me. Well, we got the skunk out of the boat. I'm glad I didn't bring that pattern with me today. So it looks like the fish are telling us from the bites we got before and that one, they want to be on the main current system, tucked in, just being ambush predators. And I'm catching these fish today on a 6.5 medium fast action graphite St. Croix Bass X, but it's a very limber rod, which is why I like using it for these lighter top waters up to about 100 millimeters. Six speed gear ratio, reel, some light braid. That's about it. Nothing too fancy here. Oh, what is that? A pickerel? Looks like a pickerel. Oh yeah, it's pretty decent pickerel. Holy smokes. That's a pickerel. Now that's a pickerel. Look at that thing. All right, buddy. Get out of here. Every time, just how they tell you, after a big bass, check your line. After any pick or roll, check your line. Especially the small ones. They have a tendency to bite that line, create some nicks. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh. Oh. And gave me the slip. I'm glad he gave me the slip and not the break. It's worse to get broken off. Mm-hmm. 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 Of course, you're speeding, boy. You take a seat right next to me and chill out for a minute. Chill out for 1 minute too. Not a bad little fish. Nice sporty little fish. Alright, Buck. You slow down now. That looks juicy. Hello. Mm-hmm. Came back for it. Get out of here. Okay. Bad little fish there. A little kayak sporty chunk. Long, not fat, but long. We'll take him. Something's getting out of sight there. All right, Buck, you got it. Damn. guess the juice wasn't that tasty. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh, that's a nice one. Oh, yeah, that's a nice one. It's a great big one. It's a great big fat one. Oh, let's go. That is a great big fat one. There it goes. Crazy swells. I mean, crazy swells bringing her in. Oh, almost hooked myself. Yeah. Cool. What a wonderful fishery. Shout out to Charlie Hartley. What are we measuring here? Okay. Oh yeah. 17 and change, like 17 and a quarter. It's a nice chunky girl. Probably reaches in the threes, maybe 3.5. Yeah. All right, let's let this one go. Look at her, like a little pet, like a little savage pet pit bull. All right. That never gets old. Hobbs Golden Shiner. Oh. Either way, it's still a nice fish. I'm not complaining. Should be a nice little spot. Come on. Should be a fish there. Should be a fish there. Oh, just to say we caught one on the wacky rig. I did say I was gonna bring it just in case one misses. Oh, but it's so wrapped up. That one missed. Let's see if we get him to hit the wacky. Broke me clean off. That was a pickerel. Oh, it didn't break me off. It just took my worm. Get out there. Oh, I'll take that. I will definitely take that. If you just want to give that up. Nice little chunk. Look at that. Look at that. The importance of match the hatch. Check out what that is right there in that belly. She's been chewing on shiners. We got a nice little Hobbs Golden Shiner right there. And we got a mouthful of shiner on the bass. Nice, mama. Let's get mine out of your mouth. Let's see if we can let yours stay in there. Come on, there we go. That's crazy. Got a nice big old shiner in there. Would you look at that? Cool, nice little chunk. Oh, you enjoy that? Must be a tasty little meal. Thank you. Oh, I think that's it for me. I got some baits to paint. It was nice having you guys over. And I'll have another video for you soon. You know the deal. Be sure to comment, like, subscribe, all that jazz. Thanks for watching Forbitten Baits. This is Mickey Melanciano, and I'll catch you guys later.
I got nightmares in my head, I fear that the thoughts build up until I can't hear, that my mind fills up into a creature, and it haunts me somewhere much deeper. Anxiety, filling up every space, no privacy, and silently, it could build and build until you finally see